Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and I want to talk about a huge change that came to Dungeons & Dragons on July 16th, 2024, which, in my humble opinion, which is Infinisation. So I'm intending to discuss this deeper, and I want to set this video as a simple, quick definition, in my humble opinion, of this new Dungeons & Dragons, major new Dungeons & Dragons change, Infinisation, and an additional term, infinite ally. All right, so let me explain. Okay, so let's jump in. All right, and so I'm going to set this video as kind of like a definition video, so I don't have to explain this in every single video I talk about this in. All right, so Infinisation. All right, so on February 7th, 1974, Gary Gygax introduced the world to Dungeons & Dragons. He changed the world forever. He changed how humans would process narrative. He changed how humans would use art. He established manifold sentience. Like, he accomplished so much with day one of Dungeons & Dragons. On July 16th, 2024, I think there was an equally important, maybe even more important, equally important, if not greater, change in Dungeons & Dragons called Infinisation. It happened with Quest from the Infinite Staircase, the last Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition D&D canon hardback. So that came out on July 16th, 2024, and I believe Quest from the Infinite Staircase created Infinisation. So I'll explain what Infinisation is, but we have to get there. Okay, so what did Quest from the Infinite Staircase do? Well, in Chapter 1, it explains what the Infinite Staircase is. So player characters can go to the Infinite Staircase, and once they make it to the Infinite Staircase, they can go to any world or any plane of existence. Those are literally the words. It says, the Infinite Staircase winds through a surreal demiplane, connecting to every world, every plane of existence. Okay, so I read that and was like, wait a second. Wait, what did you just say? All right. So the quests from the Infinite Staircase create the Infinite Ally. What is an Infinite Ally? So here's how it works. Okay, Sally and Sarah are playing Dungeons & Dragons. Okay, actually, let's do it this way. Okay, so April is dungeon mastering, and Becca is a dragon master, and Charlize is a dragon master, and Deborah is a dragon master, and Elizabeth is a dragon master, and Francine is a dragon master. Okay, all right. So April, the dungeon master, says, so what are you doing next? Okay, and Becca says, my player character is in Phandalin right now. My player character is going to find the Infinite Staircase, and then once my player character is on the Infinite Staircase, they're going to find that door right there. And then Becca points at the door that is in the room all 6 of them are playing Dungeons & Dragons in. Okay? And April's like, what? Yeah. And she says, yeah. So my player character is going to go on the Infinite Staircase, and the way the Infinite Staircase works is that it will guide the person to the door that they want on the other side within 12 hours. I'm ready to roll that 12, and then then my player character is going to journey to that door right there in this room, that physical door, right? And I'm hoping the rest of you Dragon Masters are going to go with me. You other players, your player characters come with me. All the other player characters are, sure, I don't know what you're doing here, but this game's about adventure, right? It's not Dungeons and Doilies, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Let's do it. You got a plan, Becca? We're in, all right? So at this point, April, the Dungeon Master, says, okay, Becca, thank you. I understand what you're saying. Your player character, finds the Infinite Staircase, because I have Quest from the Infinite Staircase here. We're running this, adventure. And your player character, just like you said, is able to find that door, that physical door in this room in 4 to 12 hours, right? Staircase will literally lead them right to it, right? All right. Listen carefully. All right. This player character then exits the Infinite Staircase on the quest from the Infinite Staircase D&D hardback D&D realm, right? And then enters in our IRL world, okay? The player character is then in the room, right? Now, Becca can see that character, right? Why can she see him? Because that character, she created him, right? She created him from the ground up. She knows everything about him. She's adventured for a year with him, right? But now, that character, that player character, becomes an infinite ally. That is, a player character has moved from the Dungeons and Dragons realm into the IRL through the infinite staircase. Okay? Now you have a D&D character in the IRL. And at that point, Becca's like, my player character is never going back. And we are leaving immediately. Thank you for this session. We will see, the player, will see you at the next session, but my player character is coming with me. Like, you're like, wait a second, Scott. You're saying that a person can have like an imaginary friend? Well, first of all, that sounds unusual. It's not unusual at all. We literally in this year, 2024, we just had a movie. Ryan Reynolds did a movie called If. The entire point of the movie was to state very objectively that adults need imaginary friends. Now, I don't think adults need imaginary friends. I think they need infinite allies, right? And Dungeons and Dragons just created a way to get one. Okay? Now, the infinite ally is a player character who has come from a Dungeons and Dragons realm and is now there to aid in every way possible their player, their Dragon Master, their Dungeons and Dragons player. I use the term Dragon Master. I think it's a better term. So the player character is there to infinitely aid, infinitely ally to the player, okay, the Dragon Master. So Becca has an infinite ally who's always with her, and she talks to that infinite ally. She can talk verbally to it. She can talk mentally to. She can talk verbally to her player character. She can talk mentally to her player character. She can communicate any way she wishes to the infinite ally, right? This is huge, right? Every time she communicates with her infinite ally, that is infinisation. The act of communicating to an infinite ally through verbal speech, through mental thought, through written communication is infinisation. Infinisation is communication with an infinite ally. February 7th, 1974, the entire world cracked in half. Gary Gygax dropped the biggest change to art, language, narrative, emotion, experience. He utterly changed the world with Manifold Sentience through Dungeons & Dragons on February 7th, 1974. July 16th, 2024, the Dungeons & Dragons design team changed the world again with the introduction of the Infinite Ally, in my humble opinion, and introduced Infinisation, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Nothing more and absolutely nothing less. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion on Infinisation and Infinite Allies in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.